Hello everyone, today is 6th of August, now it's 9:30 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. And there are quite a few very significant developments and news that I'd like to share with you for this moment. Although before I start, let me take a minute and inform you that, quite often during the work days, I have live streams. I have a second update during the live streams. And unfortunately, views on those live streams are quite low. Compared to my first updates that are always pre-recorded, like this one, for example. I find it strange a little bit. I can understand that YouTube is not sending notifications about these live streams, but same time I see quite often questions on the comment section about different topics that members of our community are asking, why am I not reporting on that? While I did report on those topics, and probably member of our community just did not see their update. Maybe it was a live stream. Maybe it was second update during the live stream, and therefore, dear friends, to make sure that you would not miss video, please, first of all, click not just subscribe, but also that bell button and choose all videos. That will increase chances that you will receive notification from the platform, probably. And secondly, you can open my page itself. You can search Levan Gudadze opinion. You can open my page and you can see here on the top, it's pre-recorded updates, news updates, then popular videos, and after that, past live streams. And this one, for example, is yesterday's live stream, which was packed with the news, including breaking news, but it only get, for this moment, 2,800 views. And in today's update, by the way, in this update that I'm recording now, I'm not going to share nothing from yesterday's news that I spoke about during this live stream. If I see a question then in the comment section, why I did not report about this or that, how should I react on that? When I know I reported about it, but members of our community just did not see it. Anyways, a little confusing maybe all this stuff. In ideal world, YouTube should send notifications every time I have an update or live stream. But we know how YouTube is operating. So best way is basically to open my page and just make sure that you have seen all the updates that I have on the page. That's probably easiest way. That being said, let's talk about news now. And first of all, kind of breaking news for this morning, which was reported not just by pro-Russian channels on Telegram, for example, like Slaviangrad, but also some Ukrainian sources are reporting that Kiev regime troops are withdrawing from New York, retreating basically from New York towards Nelepovka settlement, which is on the northern side of New York. If true, this is of course a significant breakthrough of Russian troops even on sectoral scale in this direction, because of course after establishing full control over the New York situation for Kiev regime troops in Toretsk will become ever more difficult and I will say undefendable. Right now Russian troops are on outskirts from southern side, are on outskirts of Toretsk, and from central and northern sides Russian troops are advancing from Kirova and Druzhba settlements. So interesting news for this moment, but yet again we need some additional confirmation on that. Although I would not be surprised at all if Kiev regime troops really are withdrawing from New York. Also, more and more sources are reporting about airfields on Kiev-controlled territory that will be used as a jump airfields by Kiev regime or by NATO, to be more precise, because me personally, I believe all these F16s that formerly was given to Kiev regime will be operated by NATO pilots and maintenance will be done by NATO engineers. And we have more information about this airfield on the border with Transnistria, Moldova, Romania, under the name of Limanske, because more sources are suggesting that this airfield most likely will be used as a jump airfield to refuel and rearm those F16s. And if this is the case, and I predicted this, isn't it? I spoke about this topic in previous updates, and if this is the case, then question is where those planes gonna be stationed then. And if you take a look at the map, by the way, geography tell us all. Of course, those planes most likely will be stationed in Romania, theoretically in Moldova also, but most likely in Romania. And when it comes to operations on the southern sectors, it will be Romania from which F-16s will take off. Then user jump these so-called jump airfields on Kiev-controlled territory to get additional fuel, weapons, to carry out operation, and then to go back to Romania. And when it comes to central and central, northern, and western parts, in this case, planes will be stationed in Poland, most likely, and they will use airfields that Kiev regime has in central and western Ukraine as a jump airfields. We need additional information on that. Yes, more and more sources are talking about this, but we need official confirmations. Maybe in upcoming days we will see some videos or photo confirmation that these so-called Ukrainian F-16s in reality are based in Romania and Poland. And then the question will be how Moscow is going to react on that, because I remember, and I believe many members of our community also remember, when a number of high-ranking Russian officials said directly that Moscow will see any airfield from which strikes will be conducted against Russian troops or Russia as a legit targets inside or outside of Ukraine. So that's interesting development also, and dangerous developments, by the way. I'm not quite sure societies in Romania and Poland are okay with allowing NATO to use their airfields for strikes against Russia, because at least theoretically speaking, it is there is a probability that Russia may conduct retaliatory strikes against those airfields. But yet again, first of all, let's see what additional information we will get on this topic. And after all, I don't think leadership of Poland or Romania really cares about opinion of their fellow citizens. Some more news, dear friends, also about these so-called jump airfields. RIA Novosti is reporting, based on Sergei Lebedev, coordinator of the Russian or pro-Russian underground or partisans in Nikolaev region, that Russian armed forces yesterday successfully conducted long-range precise strike on Kiev regime's military airfield in Martinovka. And according to Sergei Lebedev, this airfield was also planned to use by Kiev regime as a jump airfield to refuel and rearm planes. And Sergei Lebedev is confirming that strike was successful, and there was not just initial explosions as aftermath of the strikes, but also secondary explosions. So most likely some warehouses were destroyed with weapons for those planes. That's been said, also, by the way, we have Vzglyad News paper's report about statements of a deputy of the Russian foreign minister, Sergei Rabkov. And we have more clarification now, clarification on the topic of avoiding escalatory down spiral between Russia and the US. A few days ago, I reported that Sergei Rabkov stated that signal from Moscow reached Washington, and it allowed two sides to avoid this escalatory downspin. But that was all information that media reported at the time. Now we have more clarification on that, and I translated this news, and I had the questions, isn't it? I was interested what exactly was planned by Kyiv regime that was avoided as a result of exchange of opinions between Russian defense minister and US defense minister. And we have a little more information on that now. So Kyiv's operation, and it seems like Kyiv regime was planning some terrorist attack that was basically avoided as a result of US involvement. So Kyiv's operation, which was prevented after a telephone conversation between Russia's and US defense ministers Andrei Belosov and Lloyd Austin, would have plunged Russia and the US into uncontrollable conflict phase, said Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov on the Russia One TV channel. He made it clear that the incident was connected with the parade in St. Petersburg on Navy Day. So it was a parade of the warships, isn't it, in St. Petersburg on Navy Day, and the Russian president was presented there. He gave his speech, and yes, which was attended by Russian president. The deputy minister called the prepared provocation a very alarming episode, which was planned in conjunction with our internal events in order to inflict maximum damage and obtain the maximum media effort they needed. We passed. Thank God. That is the signal from our military leadership and the Minister of Defense to our American colleague apparently had an effect, Rybkov noted with relief in an interview with Olga Skabeeva. I can say, and then quote, I can say that according to some signs, the signal that was sent by the Russian side to Washington, and as I understand it, not only to Washington but also to some other capitals controlled by Washington, has reached their destination. We have avoided a new escalation. So as I understand, and dear friends, sorry, this is mechanical translation and some sentences are not really translated perfectly. This is Google translation. But anyways, we can have understanding of what Ryabkov meant, and it seems like Kyiv regime was planning some terrorist attack on Navy Day celebration in St. Petersburg, where Russian president was presented, and Russian intelligence had information about that. Russian defense minister exchanged opinions with Lloyd Austin, head of Pentagon, on possible US involvement in this terrorist attack. You remember, isn't it? I also reported that there was some statements that US received information about this prepared terrorist attack, and US was not involved in that. And I believe Pentagon maybe had nothing to do with this prepared terrorist attack, but CIA most likely did. But I guess Pentagon get involved there. After all, Pentagon also has some influence in US. They get involved there after receiving stronger warnings from Moscow, and CIA called off terrorist attack, I guess. That's what happened. That's what happened. So let's continue. RT is reporting that, a Ukrainian a member of parliament and also vice president of their pan-European party ALDE has suggested that there are no good Russians, by the way. If this is not a fascist statement, then you tell me what this is. When someone is saying that there are no good Russians or there are no good people in any society, when demonization is happening of all people. This is a pure fascism, isn't it? Nazism, fascism. This is insane. And this criminal is MP in Ukraine and vice president of pan-European party, by the way. I mean, how crazy is that, man? But let's go through this. News. So, a Ukrainian MP and vice president of the pan-European party ALDE has suggested that there are no good Russians after Kremlin critic Ilya Yashin encouraged Moscow and Kiev to negotiate a peace deal. Yashin was released from prison last week as a part of major prisoner swap between Russia and the West and was sent to Germany. He had previously been sentenced by Moscow court to 8.5 years in 2022 and designated as a foreign agent for spreading false information about Russian military. In an interview on Sunday, Yashin argued that the Russian-Ukraine conflict had reached a dead end and that there is currently no military solution for either side. He insisted that there is nothing more important now than for Moscow and Kiev to stop their fighting and bloodshed and sit down at their negotiating table to consider their positions of both sides. In response to that statements of this anti-Russian element, by the way, Yashin, who is a CIA asset basically, in response to that statements, Ira Rudik, whose alliance of liberals and Democrats for Europe, this ALDE party, is one of the largest in the EU and advocates for increased European integration, stated in a post on X that she was not surprised that Ilya Yashin is calling for Russia, is not calling for Russia to pull their troops, but for Ukraine and Russia to negotiate. This is the best showcase of what we have been telling you all along. There are no good Russians, the politician wrote. I mean, you judge, by the way. You be the judge. This is pure fascism. And I'm telling you, by the way, this Yashin, he was sentenced in Russia for anti-Russian activity. He is a foreign agent. And also, I'm 100% convinced he is a dirty asset of CIA, by the way. Dirty asset of CIA. That deserves no respect, absolutely. But still, what he said, he only called for negotiations to end the conflict, isn't it? That's all he said. And probably he is trying now to get into public lights. And that's why probably he come up with such a statement. But whatever the case, what about response that there are no good Russians? And this person is MP in Ukraine and vice president of this pan-European, one of the largest European party, ALDE. And as far as I know, she was not sacked from that party, from the position after this statement. She did not apologize. She was not sacked. ALDE did not make a statement on that. What the hell is going on, man? Is Europe becoming fascist, really? How European societies can tolerate this craziness, man? I don't get it. I don't get it, man. So in Europe, by the way, in the West now, it's okay if you say there are no good Russians. If you say this about any other society in this world, you will get called racist, Nazi, fascist, whatever. But if you say it about Russians, you are okay. You know, this is the state of modern collective West, isn't it? Very unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. I feel sorry for Europe, by the way, if this is really the face of Europe. It's bad, man. It's just too bad. And before I continue, dear friends, let me notice that this small media project of mine with several channels on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram is completely subscriber funded, and I will be immensely grateful if you will also consider to support my work with donations through PayPal or Boosty, or by subscribing, if you can support in long terms, by subscribing to my Patreon or Boosty pages, on which I have some extra content on regular basis, and I'm really trying to make sure that content on Patreon and Boosty are interesting, informative, entertaining. And today, for example, if weather will improve, I might go into one of the cities here in Moscow, historical cities, from Golden Ring around Moscow, and I'll try to make some extra content there for Patreon community and the Boosty community. So yes, if you can, if you like my work, if you want to support, you can do it through PayPal, Boosty, by subscribing to my Patreon. And dear friends, monthly subscription on Patreon starts from $5. It's not too expensive, I will say, although if more people will subscribe, of course, that will give me this opportunity to further continue work on this project and develop this project in a better way. All the links are under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. And same time, dear friends, I apologize if these episodes when I'm advertising my project is little irritating, but community support is the only way to maintain independence and to continue this work. So all the truly independent channels, by the way, are 100% dependent on community. Some channels may have advertising, and that could be helpful, obviously, but I don't have any advertising. As you can see, no advertise ever on my videos, and my channel is not monetized, of course, on YouTube, and will never be monetized. So that's also. Anyways, all the links, by the way, to my Patreon, Boosty, PayPal under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment, and also crypto wallet, by the way. Nowadays, cryptos are experiencing some big difficulties. Bitcoin dropped lower than 50,000 yesterday. But yesterday, by the way, it was a mayhem, not just on in terms of cryptos, but cryptocurrencies, but also on shares of major companies, especially IT companies, plummeted significantly, and trillions in investments were lost just like that in a matter of seconds and minutes. Anyways, let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that Iran warned Israel through Foreign Ministry of Hungary about inevitable retaliatory strike. Jerusalem Post is reporting about it, and also this information was become available yesterday afternoon, and of course I shared this news on my Telegram. Also, it seems like at this point it is truly inevitable that Iran will retaliate. Only question is about scale of retaliation, and as time goes by, it is becoming more and more likely that probably this time Iran will retaliate with not with restraint, but with strength. And I see arguments, by the way, including from our members of our community, that previous time when Iranian consulate was attacked by Israel in Damascus, Iran retaliated with a restraint. Iran gave their several days upfront warning about upcoming retaliatory missile and drone strikes. Some even suggesting that Iran shared areas which will be targeted, information about areas that Iran was planning to target, so that this will give Israel and Israeli allies, US, UK, better opportunity to get ready in a better way to intercept all these missiles and drones. But as we can see, it didn't work, isn't it? Iran made its point last time, but it didn't work. It didn't stop Israel to conduct this assassination of a Hamas leader in Tehran. And therefore, well, I see more and more arguments in favor of retaliation with the strength, because maybe this will play as a deterrence if Iran will strike with the strength. I don't know, by the way. I don't want to see regional war in the Middle East. That's my take. I don't want to see war anywhere, really, including in the Middle East, and therefore, I don't know. I still think maybe retaliation with restraint will be enough this time to make sure that Israel will act more responsibly in the future. But yet again, I can see arguments from other side also that restraint is not working. So I don't know. We should wait and see. But it seems like retaliation is definitely. Seems like it is inevitable. It is inevitable. And not just from Iran, but also from Hezbollah. Probably this will be combined operation of the two. And there are reports that probably these retaliatory strikes will take several days. Not just it will be not just single retaliatory strike, but volleys of strikes that will last for several days. I don't know. Hard to tell. TASS news agency is also reporting that US is redeploying its troops from Iraq to Saudi Arabia, and movement of several military columns were noticed on a checkpoint, RR checkpoint on the border between the countries, and most likely this movement is connected with the preparation of the US troops in the Middle East for a possible Iranian retaliatory strike against Israel. Also, we have RIA Novosti's report that Pentagon blamed Iran. Head of Pentagon, Lloyd Austin, accused Iran of being involved in yesterday's attack on one of their US military bases in Iraq. And during that attack, at least 5 US military personnel was wounded. I shared information about it on my Telegram channel. No response from Iran, but yet again, in Iraq there is a number of armed groups, Shiite armed groups, Sunni armed groups that are against presence of US in their country, and I don't think they need some orders from Iran to conduct operations against their occupying force, really. But Tehran did not yet reacted on these accusations. Also, we have TASS news agency's report that US and Niger confirming withdrawal of US troops from 201st Air Base in Niger, and this is planned withdrawal, of course, and according to reports that we received earlier, this process of withdrawal of US troops from Niger will end about September this year. RT is also reporting that, and few news about some economical stuff. RT is reporting that US is probably in recession. Ex-Fed insider is saying this. United States may already be in a plain vanilla recession. A former advisor to the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, Daniel DiMartino Booth, told CNBC on Monday. Their statement comes as world stock markets nosedive over fears of US economy is weakening. A critical I don't even know what that means. I mean, plain vanilla recession is one of the two types of demand-driven recession, says this person. That these typically follow periods of policy tightening that are aimed to stanching excess demand on inflation problems. According to DeMartino Booth, CEO and chief strategist for Quill Intelligence. The recession started sometime around last October. She pointed to a weakening job market and increasing Chapter 11 bankruptcy filings. Additionally, she said declining housing prices and increasing apartment supply suggest this trend may continue. The US economy suffered an unexpected setback in July as hiring fell sharply and their unemployment rate rose for the fourth straight month, with raised interest rates taking a toll on businesses and households. The jobless rate jumped to 4.3%, up from 4.1% the previous month. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on Friday their figure is their highest since the onset of the recent pandemic. The number of unemployed people across the US rise by 352,000 to 7.2 million, a notable increase from 5.9 million registered a year earlier, when the jobless rate was 3.5%. So, well, I don't know. I'm not economical expert or expert in finances. Reports were that U.S. economy U.S. GDP to grow 2.5% this year, about 2.5% this year, and now some experts are talking about this vanilla recession, whatever that means, man. Cyclical or plain vanilla recession. What the hell is that, man? But whatever the case, it is little strange. I did not expect U.S. economy to be considered in a recession. I was thinking that situation in U.S. is much better. I expect recession talks in regards to Germany's economy, French economy, British economy, but not US. But seems like I was mistaken, and in reality, situation in US economy is much more difficult than it seems like. So yes, there was this plummet on the stock markets, trillions and trillions went in smoke, one may say, and well, I don't know, man. I don't know. If U.S. economy will nosedive, then I guess world economy is waiting difficult times, because we are talking about world's major economy. So if anybody is happy about difficulties in U.S. economy, should think twice, because U.S. and Chinese economies are foundations for stability of world economy, and whenever each of these economies are experiencing difficulties, it's bad for everybody, by the way, in my understanding, although yet again I'm not expert in finances, economy, and that kind of stuff. This is just how I see things. So let's hope the situation will stabilize in US, and there will be no more this Black Mondays and that kind of stuff when business is in full panic mode. And I will end this update on this news, by the way, from Russia, about Russian economy, that sales of cars in Russia increased significantly. Now for 42%, by the way, 42.4% compared to similar period in last year, and this is the numbers for July. July, by the way, and overall 136,000 cars were sold, little more, which is I guess quite a good number, and I wanted to share this information because it indicates that economy here in Russia feels okay, because I mean, just take a look at the numbers, by the way. car sales increasing like almost 50%, which is huge. So people have money to buy cars, and banks are very happy to give loans to people for very same purposes, to buy car or to buy whatever. That's one of the reasons why central bank in Russia increased their interest rates, because economy is overheating. Demand is too high, and business is not really able to deal with this high demand, at least for now. And I guess central bank was hoping that by increasing interest rates, commercial banks will be forced to loan less. But if there is demand, by the way, banks are banks. They want to make profit, isn't it? This is their main goal, and that's the numbers for you. Of course, from these 136,000 cars that already been sold, majority probably was bought by bank loans, right? On credit. Anyways, interesting news that is confirming that the economy here in Russia is doing quite okay, and also people are doing quite okay, because to buy a new car you need some money, isn't it? One day in the future, maybe I also be able to buy a car, but not now. And yes, I will end this update now. Relatively short video. Hopefully you will find it interesting, informative, maybe a little entertaining, because after all, this is all shows, isn't it? This is a news show or talk show. Well, if you like this video, please click that like button, leave some commentary just about anything. This is only way, dear friends, that we can deal with the algorithms, more likes and comments. And I know sometimes you may write 3-4 comments or want to stay in the comment section, because YouTube algorithm deletes comments left and right. I don't get it why it's done. You may write hello Levan, and the algorithm may delete it. It's crazy, man, what is happening with the YouTube. But if you can, please leave commentary just about anything. Click that like button, and if you like my work, if you want to support, you can do it through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon. Dear friends, I'm saying every update that my Patreon page is much more developed than on Boosty, and I really hope we can manage to reach 200 on Patreon. Our community on Patreon is 57 for this moment, and theoretically it is possible to reach 200 before end of this summer. So if you can, please consider. All the links under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. And I remind you that monthly subscription on Patreon starts from $5, dear friends. It's like a cup of coffee, really. So yes, this is it. Have a great day, and take care. Bye for now.